The start to the 2023 college football season for your Clemson Tigers is 2 weeks away, but let's dive into the schedule. Let's grade these opponents. We're doing it all week. Who is the strongest to start the season? Who's the weakest? I'm going to tell you next on the Locked On Clemson Podcast.
You are Locked On Clemson, your daily podcast on the Clemson Tigers. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What's up, Clemson family? Welcome back to the Locked On Clemson Podcast, your daily podcast covering your Clemson Tigers, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. I'm your boy, Damian Parson, always on the ones and twos. You can find and follow me on Twitter at DP_NFL. I am part of the co-host team of the Locked On NFL Draft Podcast, as well as the founder of the Scouting Room. Guys, thank y'all so much for tapping in with me and making Locked On Clemson your first listen today and every day, Monday through Friday. Thank y'all for being the family and our everyday. It's happy Monday to you guys. We have a fun show. I'm starting this series right now where I'm going through the schedule, 3 games each show, and I'm going to break down and grade each matchup and each team, how big of a threat that they pose to our Clemson Tigers, guys. But before we get into that, let's give a quick shout out to our sponsor. Today's show is brought to you by LinkedIn. These days, every new potential hire can feel like a high-stakes wager for your small business. That's why LinkedIn Jobs helps you find the right people for your team faster and for free. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/lockedoncollege. Terms and conditions apply. Family, we kicking it off week 1, 2 weeks away. 2 weeks away. Do you feel that buzz? You feel that energy? Yes, that is, first of all, it's week 0 of college football. So we do have college football this weekend, but your team doesn't play for 2 weeks, right? We got 2 weeks from today. 2 weeks from today. And guess who we face? Those Duke Blue Devils. Grading this opponent. This is a game that we've talked about, on and off, guys, on and off, about just how dangerous this team could be. And the offensive line is littered with either graduates, seniors. I believe they only had one redshirt sophomore projected to start, and that's at left guard. There's veteran leadership on this team. Okay, veteran leadership all over this, especially on the offensive side of the ball. This is a well-coached team as well, guys. From Mike Elko is one of the better up-and-coming coaches in terms of like just being prominent and being a guy that's going to be named as one of those top coaches in college football. But when you look at just, of course, it starts up front, starts at the top, right? Riley Leonard, the quarterback, junior quarterback. Guys, I watched the film on him over the weekend. Again, I cut up some stuff. I'm going to have probably, if not today, then tomorrow, I'll have it up on the Patreon talking about just breaking him down and what we need to be aware of. But this is an offense, guys, that they are very multiple. You will see you can see some power sets, some zone stuff, but you will see them spread you out, give you some 11 personnel, even some 12. The ability to work out a shotgun, right? In their offensive line, I think the offensive line is good. With Graham Barton being that elite prospect on their offensive line at left tackle, guys. But Jalen Calhoun, the redshirt senior at wide receiver, Eli Pancol, the graduate Z receiver, and their ex Jordan Moore is a junior. Guys, they can absolutely throw the football. So when I look at this team, the grade that I would give them, just off of just studying them, I think in terms of being a matchup grade, grading this matchup, I give them a 7.5. Like they could be a threat, guys. Like they can be a threat. I think with the scheme, with the talent that they actually have, I absolutely believe that they can be a team that give this team some trouble, that gives the Clemson Tigers some trouble. Now, I'm just talking about the offense, right? Defensively, they have seniors littered all over the defense as well. R.J. Oben, redshirt senior. The nose tackle, Damian Franklin, redshirt senior. Of course, their star defensive player, Dwayne Carter, who I've talked about on this show as well, redshirt senior, right? Vincent Anthony is a sophomore, but even their linebackers, graduate transfer Cam Dillon, Dorian Mousey, he's a senior at middle linebacker. Joshua Pickett's a junior, right? Now the cornerback room has some. It's a little bit of youth there. You have a junior, you have a true sophomore, and then you got another junior. You have I believe he's from Miami, Al Blades Jr. Looks like he transferred over, as well as Miles Jones transferring over, being a graduate transfer. So they have a little mixture of some youth and experience. But I think where their bread will be buttered defensively is going to be in the front seven on the defensive line, and that's getting into the backfield. So the offensive line for the Clemson Tigers will be pivotal in this game because Dwayne Carter can wreck a game, guys. I'm telling you right now, talking to some of the people in the league, the lowest grade I heard was about third round for this young man. So he's got some buzz, and I watched the tape on him. I think I graded him like maybe high third, low second. Like, he's talented, and he can wreck this game. If you cannot keep him out of the face of Cade Klubnik, he's on the interior. You cannot, lock him down. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough sailing, right? It's going to be tough just in general, and I think that's the main thing. So, like I said, 7.5, where this is a legitimate threat. This is a team that you expect Clemson to win in a close game, but this is a team that can absolutely walk out of that game in 2 weeks. At night, September 4th, 8 p.m. Eastern time. This game is on ESPN. It's prime time, baby. Monday Night Football before the NFL takes over Monday Night Football. That's where this game is going to be played. And again, it's just a simple fact of the matter is you're going into their house at 8 p.m. nighttime. The Duke Blue Devil fans, I wouldn't be surprised if they come out with that all black and blue uni, right? With the numbers and letters with the blue and white trim. I wouldn't be surprised if they came out with that. Right, it's nighttime, like, you know what I mean. That those mind games and really kind of say, listen, we're here to play, and this is a team that you got to take serious. You have to take serious the Duke Blue Devils. Like I said, now don't get it twisted. When the game happened, the game is played. Maybe Duke, maybe they wet their pants. Maybe they just don't get it together and they lay an egg. But talent-wise, in terms of the matchup, I say 7.5, 7.5. All right, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, 10 being the highest on the scale, or 1 to 10. If you're closer to 1, we don't view you as a threat. If you're closer to 10, okay, we got to worry about you. The Duke Blue Devils, I truly believe you got to worry about, because again, they can make plays on both sides of the ball, whether it's rushing the passer, getting in the backfield, and making plays that way. But also as a passing offense with Riley Leonard, and then his running ability is superb. This is a young man. They'll run some QB zone read converted into a lead where he rides the ball into in the belly of the running back, and it's like a legit mesh point into the offensive line, right? And that running back, then he takes the ball from the running back. The running back becomes a lead blocker, and it springs him against Boston College. They got a big. I think he scored on that play, if I'm not mistaken. Either he scored or it was a big. I think he scored. And he just kind of same thing. Rode the mesh point, right? Let the running back lead block for him, and then he cut off of that block and got into open field. And this young man, and Riley Leonard can pick him up and put him down, guys. So again, 7.5, 7.5 matchup grade that I'm giving the Duke Blue Devils. They should give your Clemson Tigers every bit of a fight, a run for their money. But I still believe that Clemson should still win this game. But don't be surprised. This game is a lot closer than the national media would make you believe, because the Duke Blue Devils are extremely, and I repeat, extremely talented on both sides of the ball, guys, on both sides of the ball. But next up, we have what some people would say, is this a cupcake? Is this the first cupcake of the schedule? Charleston Southern. We're going to break down that game in quick fashion. Coming up next on the Locked On Clemson Podcast. These days, every new potential hire can feel like a high-stakes wager for your small business. You want to be 100% certain that you have the access to the best qualified candidates available. That's why you have to check out LinkedIn Jobs. LinkedIn Jobs helps you find the right people for your team faster and for free. Guys, all you have to do is create a free job post on LinkedIn Jobs, add the purple hashtag hiring frame to your LinkedIn profile to spread the word that you're hiring. You have simple tools at your disposal, like screening questions that make it easy to focus on candidates with just the right skill set and experience, so you can quickly prioritize who you'd like to hire or interview and or hire. So it's why small businesses rate LinkedIn Jobs #1 in delivering quality hires versus leading competitors. All you have to do is check out LinkedIn Jobs. LinkedIn Jobs helps you find the qualified candidates that you want to talk to faster. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/lockedoncollege. That is linkedin.com/lockedoncollege to post your job for free. Terms and conditions apply. Charleston Southern is week 2. After battling with the Duke Blue Devils in 2 weeks on September the 4th at night in Duke, your Clemson Tigers will take on the Charleston Southern football team, the Buccaneers, I believe is their yes, the Buccaneers, the Big South. 2:15. This game will be on ACC Network, and I believe it's the first home game. This is going to be, how to put this nicely. This is a cupcake. This is a cakewalk. This team has no business being even in the game with the Clemson Tigers. And I say that because Clemson is so much more talented than them. Yes, the games will be played on the field and not on paper and all that good stuff. Not in a spreadsheet, not off of analytics or athleticism, athletic testing. Yes, the game will be played on the field. But at the same time, this is not a game that should be close. This is a game that should be 50-7. One of those type of games, right? You got to, make sure a lot of these teams that, like a Charleston Southern and these smaller schools, they're able to win. They have decent football players. The talent is not bad. It's just it doesn't typically match up with the Power 5 schools. So what do? They run the offense, whether it's spread, tempo, things of that nature, to keep you off balance and put pressure on your defense. And if they get some positive plays, so forth and so on. So if I'm going to grade this matchup, they are 1. They are at the very bottom. They are 1. I don't view them as a threat whatsoever to your Clemson Tigers. I think that this is a game where Clemson should finish them off in short order. I think Clemson should walk out of this game with the dub, big time victory. With this is a type of game where if you're Dabo Swinney and Garrett Riley, I would absolutely, get the kinks out now, right? You know what I'm saying? If you're going to have procedural penalties pre-snap and, all that type of stuff, or if you're going to have a coverage breakdown, whatever, you want to have it in this game, right? Because this game is not the margin for error is so wide, right? That you're not going to really stress over it. You shouldn't, I would say. And, and I think that's the biggest thing is that you have to understand that you can get those kinks out right now. Like, you know what I mean? The timing issues, stuff like that. This is where you get like, I don't want to say you cheat like extra practice, but I'm just saying, like, it's your home game. The crowd's going to be rocking. They're going to be ready to go. And this team is going to come out with a vengeance, especially like, depends on if that game against Duke is closer than they expect, even if they win. I guarantee you Dabo and that coaching staff are going to have these guys ready to dominate Charleston Southern, ready to walk on that field and absolutely put them in the dirt. What did Mason Johnstone tell us when he came on the pod a couple weeks ago, that the offensive line called this air raid the dirt raid? They want to put defenders and defensive linemen in the dirt with the run game. I would not be surprised to see 300 yards rushing in this game with 300. I would not be surprised to see a 700 total offensive yards from scrimmage type of day from your Clemson Tigers offense. And this is a game where you want to start getting guys confidence up. This is the game. But also you want to get those backups. You want to get those freshmen in, the Tyler Brown, Tank Masoon Kelly, right? Dominique, the young running back. You want to get these guys some touches. This is the game you do it, because you really expect for Cade Klubnik and the first team offense to put up 30 points, 35 points by halftime, where then if you want to come out and give them one more drive in the second half to just add a little more, put a little bit more mustard on it, you know what I'm saying? Really put some more onto it and into it, then cool. But at the end of the day, this is one of them games that you allow these guys to get into a rhythm, allow them to build themselves up, right? And then that's when you put the young guys in and you tell the young guys, go do your thing. And you just have fun with it. You enjoy it and understand what you have at your disposal. Because at the end of the day, the way I look at it like this is a cakewalk. This is a cupcake if I've ever seen one. And I'm talking about the good cupcakes too, guys. I ain't talking about that sprinkle stuff, because the sprinkles are weird. I don't like, sprinkles aren't, I'm not with the sprinkles. All right. DP is not with the sprinkles. Don't ever bring me a cupcake or any type of treat and it has sprinkles on it. That just lets me know that you hate me, because I don't like them. So it's like, you give me a good pastry, right? Like you're talking about those good cupcakes from the real bakery. That is just the fondant, whatever the icing is, the fondant, whipped cream, whatever you want. They give you whatever you want. That's what type of cupcake this is. One that, you like, man, that was good stuff. That was good stuff. It's not a meal, right? Because it's not going to fill you, but it's a good, nice little treat. And that's what this is going to be to the Clemson Tigers. I think the discrepancy of talent in the trenches, on the offensive and defensive line, is going to be way too much for Charleston Southern, man. So you talk about quick order. This segment's quick order because this game is going to be quick order. They get a 1 on the scale of 1 to 10 for matchup grades. They're a 1. I expect Clemson to roll all over those Charleston Southern Buccaneers. But let's close it out with the Florida Atlantic Owls. This is a game which I also believe is home. This is another home game. It's at nighttime on ACC Network, 8 p.m. Do they pose a little bit more of a threat than Charleston Southern? Yes. And I'm going to tell you why coming up next on the Locked On Clemson Podcast. Week 3 is facing your Clemson Tigers facing week 3, the Florida Atlantic Owls. And this is a team that I will tell you the grade right off the top. I give them a solid 4, guys. I give them a 4, and I'm going to tell you why I give them a 4. I believe this is a team with their scheme, Tom Herman being the coach. Offensive, this is an up-tempo spread offense. And I think, and here's the other part, the quarterback, Casey Thompson, was at Texas, transferred to Nebraska last year. He played solid football, I would say, in my personal opinion, but he's kind of a dual threat guy. He's got a good arm and he's mobile, and he's got to extend those plays. This is another team similar to Duke that has a lot of offensive talent in terms of being, veterans, right? Redshirt seniors, juniors, things of that nature. The offensive line looks to be very well experienced with seniors, redshirt seniors, redshirt juniors, so forth and so on, right? So I think Casey Thompson himself, Larry McCammon the third, the running back, I remember watching some tape on him. He's a pretty solid back, man. And the number one weapon for this offense last year was LaJohntay Webster, wide receiver. This is a smaller wide receiver, had over 101 targets, only 62 receptions, 718 yards, and 8 touchdowns. And this is a young man that played predominantly in the slot. So you think about whoever's in the nickel, Andrew Makuba, right? Potentially RJ Mickens, like whoever's in the slot will have to deal with this quick twitch, kind of shifty, 5'11", 167-pound wide receiver. And I think that he'll be the number one target yet again for the new quarterback, Casey Thompson. But they run a spread up-tempo offense where they know how to they understand spacing. They want to push you out horizontally, right? And it opens up the inside the zone game, the inside zone game with the running back and the run game, but also the zone read with the QB. But it also in totality as well, also it opens up just a play action pass, the RPO game. They want to spread you out. They want to space you out to where they create big enough windows for the quarterback to attack, right? And N'Kosi Perry was the quarterback last year, and he did that, right? And I think that's, again, being able to – this is one of them offenses where you can't take them lightly. If you come in sleeping, they'll hit you for probably 14 points. And that's where, like, that wake-up call, right? And I can see that being the case if they don't take them seriously. The main thing, similar to the Charleston Southern game, the trenches. Clemson's just more talented in the trenches on both sides of the ball. So eventually talent wins out, right? Typically, right? We've seen some crazy upsets in college football throughout our decades of being alive, right? I've been alive 34 years. A little over 3 decades. I've seen a ton of the Appalachian State to Michigan and all kind of crazy upsets. I don't foresee that being the case here, but you don't want to give them any type of – you don't want them to feel good about themselves going into halftime, right? Where it's a 7 to 14 point game and they're getting the ball back. And offensively, they've been solid. You don't want them having that. This is a game where even if they do hit you with a couple quick scores or a couple scores and they kind of catch you slipping, catch you off guard, that's when you say, okay, let's take care of business. Let's tighten the chin strap. Let's buckle it up a little tighter. Make sure the mouthpiece is in, and let's play some physical football. And I think that's what will end up happening. But again, like I said, I give them a solid 4, guys, because I do give them respect in that regard that at the end of the day, like this is a team, they have some talent, right? I think Casey Thompson is an NFL draftable quarterback, smaller receiver, with LaJohntay Webster, 5'11", 167. But we just saw Tank Dell go from Houston, University of Houston to the Houston Texans, and I think he was like a 3rd round pick. So yeah, we just watched this 166-pound corner going the first round, Emmanuel Forbes from Mississippi State. So the point is, if LaJohntay Webster is that good, and he can and not only replicate his numbers from 2022, but maybe with better quarterback play, double them, right? He can absolutely see himself being drafted a lot earlier than most expect smaller receivers to be drafted. But yeah, I think this is a game where Clemson has to come out and take them serious. Don't really give them any room to breathe. Don't give them any room to be hopeful, right? Don't allow them to think that they have a shot. Go ahead and diminish that early. Don't let them hang around and stuff like that, because you still want to, be able to get your starters in, let them ball out, let them build their confidence and get them out of the game so that they can go ahead and move on. Because that's just kind of how I look at it, guys. I'm just being honest. Like I said, solid 4 for the Florida Atlantic Owls. I think the passing game is going to be the big thing. The running back, he is tough, and I think I said that spacing will allow them to have lighter fronts and lighter boxes, and then that's where that quick game with the slot receiver LaJohntay Webster. That's where that comes in at, guys. The reason why I'm saying that rather is because not only that, but they got Jaquan Burton, who's also a 5'10", 185-pound wide receiver, and he a smaller guy, but he can move as well. And they have BJ Alexander, who didn't play a ton last year. He's 6'3", 200 pounds, so he's kind of the center of power forward of the offense when he's got like the shifty, Webster being the shifty point guard, and then Burton being being more of the slasher shooting guard type, right? Because I believe Burton was 2nd on the team, 3rd behind Jamal Edrin, who I don't believe is there anymore. No, he's not. He's not on the roster. So when it's just kind of, being the 3rd, or in terms of only less than 60 targets, things of that nature, I could see this kid having a 700, 800-yard passing receiving season with upgrade at the quarterback position. But yes, like that spread offense, giving more room with the offensive line and for the run game with the inside zones and light fronts, but also the quick game and the RPO, the glance slant route coming backside, things like that. It's going to put onus on the nickel defender to be aware, be ready to go for LaJohntay Webster, because that this young man is quick. Quick twitch, and you talking about being able to make plays happen after the catch. He can do that as well. So you want to just make sure that you have him locked down and be ready for it all. Be ready for every bit of it, because again, that's the thing, right? And he can make some big plays down the field as well. So like you just got to be on your P's and Q's. It's not a young man that's going to give you, if you stay attached to him, you can kind of deter and mess up the rhythm and timing of his passes and his receptions, right? Because last year he was targeted 21 times in contested catch situations. He only caught 9 for 42.9% conversion rate and completion rating, on those type of throws. So if you stay in phase, if you stay locked in, you'll be able to turn those catches into contested catches. And he does not thrive there. He does not live there. He's not a strength of his game. But guys, with that, listen, Florida Atlantic, I give them a solid 4. I do believe that Clemson's going to walk out of this game, but I got to show some respect. I do think that this team can pose just a little bit of threat early on in that game, but I think Clemson could absolutely walk away with it with ease, as long as they take care of business and take them serious and don't sleep on your opponent. All right, know thy opponent, know your opponent. All right, and I think the Clemson Tigers will be very well coached, of course, and be ready to go, ready to knock this out of the park and take care of it. But guys, that's the first 3 games of the season. Well, it's like 12, so I got episodes coming all week. Okay, thank y'all for tapping in with your boy and making Locked On Clemson your first listen to date and every day, Monday through Friday. Go subscribe and follow for free on YouTube, wherever you listen to podcasts, to get the latest episode as soon as it's available, guys. Let's continue to boost the numbers on this YouTube channel. Go subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification so you are notified whenever I drop content. And let's get this channel up to 1,000 subscribers, guys. 2 weeks away. Will you be the reason we get to 1,000? I hope so, and I believe in y'all. So let's get to it, all right? So listen, on tomorrow's show, we're going to go through the next 3 games, all right? We're going to go through Florida State, right? We're going to kick the show off tomorrow with Florida State. Then we have Syracuse and Wake Forest. And I'm going to grade those matchups as well, guys. So stay tuned and tap in for that. On Twitter, you can follow me there, DP _NFL. Talk to me because I do talk back. Come and join the conversation again tomorrow on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day. Go Tigers.